Today we will talk about cashing in on crypto. Today in our December of the world of cryptocurrencies with conflicting review of the significance of cryptocurrencies to the traditional financing markets. This month saw the Financial Stability Board still insisting that the $133 billion stablecoin market only constitutes a niche segment of the global financial market. Stablecoins are cryptocurrencies that attempt to peg their price on a 1:1 to a fiat currency such as the US dollar. The Financial Stability Board is a consortium advisory board that acts on behalf of G20, providing recommendations regarding the financial system. Its view of this niche market segment suggests that crypto still has a way to go before it becomes truly mainstream, but there are definite signs that the tide is turning. If proof were needed, regulators in both the UK and USA have just published guidance on cryptocurrencies for banks and financial institutions. Sunday Times reported that the Bank of England is looking to tighten regulation on cryptocurrency investment for institutions over 2022. The reports point out that currently cryptocurrencies holding by banks and on other institutions do not pose a great threat to traditional markets, but the, their current pages of growth may do so in the future. This regulation will be likely good news for the industry as it will help provide the trust to banks that they are operating within the confines of the Financial Conduct Authority (FCA) when offering trading and custodial solutions. Across the Atlantic, the US Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's FDIC and Office of the Comptroller of the Currency (OCC) released a joint statement detailing how they will be clarifying the rules and regulations on how to clearly use and offer cryptocurrency services to banks and other traditional marketplaces, financial institutions over the next year. The rules will be designed to give clarity to banks and institutions of what is within the law, what should be regulated activity, and what is strictly off limits. Set against the backdrop of increasing regulations, the cyber attacks continue. Bitmart became the latest in a long line of exchanges that have been compromised. A successful attack and resulting hot wallet compromise resulted in $196 million being lost from the platform. This kind of attack, where an attacker was able to exfiltrate the private key and use it to send the funds to another wallet, is a very common example of exchange compromise. Check out my first cryptocurrency post for more or how to deal with this kind of threat. In a further successful attack, Badger DAO provided details of how it was compromised. Losing $120 million, the route to compromise started with compromising the managemental portal of Cloudflare, Badger DAO's content delivery network. Once Cloudflare was compromised, the attackers were then able to inject a malicious script into the UI of the Brigade web app itself. The final stage of the attack consisted of prompting the users to allow the foreign address approval. Badger DAO's transparency on how the attack was orchestrated and eventually mitigated is something that is not often seen in the world of cybersecurity and is hopefully a model that more organizations can move to, as everybody can benefit from the lesson learned. The key takeaway from all this, the wider societal implications of institutional investment in cryptocurrencies warrant far more deliberate cybersecurity approaches. Without that, there is a real risk to existing financial systems. Now we will talk about why is cryptocurrency so hot. Rising inflation is devaluing cash reserves by the day, making crypto an ever more attractive investment opportunity. However, the traditional investors and financial institutions who have long complained about being too regulated are nonetheless concerned at the complete lack of regulations in the crypto space. Without the oversight of the Financial Conduct Authority, there are no regulations, blueprints, or benchmarks for building a successful crypto business for institutional investors. Some financial institutions are looking at feasibility of making cash reserves in a bank liquid. The principle being that the cash itself does not physically move. Instead, the ownership of those assets moves as metadata is set between the banks. The industry as a whole is still very much in its infancy when it comes to cybersecurity, and far more than thoughts needs to be given to the question of how best to protect crypto custodians and and asset exchanges from the other attacks. The cryptocurrency infrastructure. Crypto wallet is a device or application which stores the public and private keys for transactions on the cryptocurrency market. Typically, transactions are conducted via a cryptocurrency exchange where people can trade cryptocurrencies for other cryptocurrencies or conventional fiat money. Government issued currency that is not backed by a commodity. Organizations known as crypto custodians act on behalf of others to store their private keys and provide security for the assets. By far, the biggest potential Achilles heel in this infrastructure is the wallet. From a technology purist standpoint, the safest wallet is a cold one, one that is disconnected from the internet. However, the latency introduced when the private keys for a customer have to be sent from cold wallet to the exchange will likely result in multiple second delays that are unacceptable in a fast moving industry like crypto, where prices can fluctuate hugely on a second by second basis. For this reason, a hot wallet is essential, even though this means the custodian or exchanger must communicate regularly between the secure enclave where the private keys are stored and the entrusted untrusted internet for transaction verification. Data diodes. A data diode is a one-way and only data flow enforced by hardware. While it offers some measures of reassurance, it does not address the fundamental business requirements, which is that to properly support a custodian or access or asset exchange, there must be a two-way flow of information. Indeed, using a diode is relatively pointless from a security perspective, as you would need two diodes next to each other to handle the necessary bidirectional traffic. At this point, there is a native two-way communication, and any attack which involves application data would be immune to the disruption caused by placing two diodes inbound and outbound. Deploying two diodes inbound and outbound also increases the overhead of integrity between the insecure network and the secure enclave. This is because the integration between the insecure network and the secure enclave. This is because the applications can no longer talk in native protocols such as HTTPS, REST, or TCP, but now must communicate in a protocol that is supported by the diode. XML JSON gateways. Force point high speed verifiers HSF HSVs HSV's first force point secure data transfer appliances and high speed verifiers addresses all the shortcomings of alternative solutions because any communication inbound or outbound goes via custom designed and implemented FPGA. FPGA means field programmable gate array. An initial HTTP or TCP transfer control protocol's request arrives from the application at the force point secure data transfer appliances on the untrusted network. Here the request is broken down into its core components. This is represented in the force point internal format and the first schema check is applied. If this schema check is successful, then the internal format is verified in hardware by the FPGA in the HSV. This ensures the data coming from the untrusted network is not harmful and only contains the expected data in the correct format. The simple format is then rebuilt to be reliable, now in good state within a secure data transfer appliances on the secure enclave network. Before being transferred to the application for transaction validation, this process is entirely transparent to the application on the untrusted network, which simply believes it has communicated directly with the server in the secure enclave. It also delivers the very highest level of assurance that the communication channel between untrusted network and secure enclave cannot be exploited by the criminal. ForcePoint is actively working with banks and financial institutions to help protect their cryptocurrency infrastructures from cyber attacks. If you would like to know more about how we can help you, please stay connected to our channel. Thank you.